when you think about comics, you think about like they're really the only budget you have is what you can draw, right? And what your supplies are going to be, I guess, as well. And when you get somebody who's just that brilliant at drawing, I mean, the sky's the limit, man. Like you can do anything. Now, I was aware of this comic book, but I was only aware of it when it came to the Bisley years. I had no idea that it had existed many, many years before that. This is the work of Pat Mills and a bunch of other artists who are unbelievable, like Mick McMahon, which I thought was his name was Mike McMahon, but maybe he changed it to Mick McMahon. I'm not sure. But I wanted to take a look at this. It's pretty much Conan the Barbarian, but from the perspective of a 2000 AD writer and a bunch of 2000 AD artists, and it intrigues me. And this one seems really special to me. So let's take a look at this. Now we have this beautiful artwork here as we open up. The entire book is in black and white, which I'm fine with. And 2000 AD has some of the most interesting artists and interesting storytellers out there. I think about my love for the French artists and the American artists, but English artists or UK artists or England artists. I don't know how you want to say it, but they're great too. And they had this amazing, just unbelievable projects that were going on. So let's take a look at it. And then we open up to this beautiful splash page here. And then we get the color cover here. I love how they do that. I think that's really, really cool. You get to see, because this was in the 2000 AD issues, which I've covered a couple of them, or magazines or newspaper. It's actually like a newspaper. And I love that they kept these covers here. And then we open up and we just see this just amazing splash page. And just so much detail going on there, so much creativity. Just, I love a great composition. I love great creativity. I love looking at the craft of somebody who is really at their height. Just beautiful stuff. Really, really great stuff. And then we open up. And the one thing I will say, this has so much detail in it. I mean, just the scales on that dinosaur there and the cross-hatching and how you can clearly see these beautiful forms and great anatomy. And the usage of blacks and whites. It's just, oh, man. And the cloth and the drapery. And you get these beautiful details on the architecture there. Some really ballsy stuff that most artists are terrified of doing because they don't want to ruin their original sketch or their original state of a drawing. But man, this stuff is just beautiful. I also love this I love the size that we're seeing here. It's such a beautiful size. You get to see all this great detail in the artwork. I mean, you get to see every single line. I love it when you get work at this size. I hate when you get these little tiny books and you're just like, you're trying to like kind of wince and see everything. But man, the size that this is at, just so great. I really, really love this size. And again, a lot of blacks going on here, a lot of ink, crazy amount of ink. This reminds me kind of like the older like Tarzan comics, but with a more modern flair to it. And man, again, so much detail, so much action. Like these guys had been looking at like John Buscema's work on Conan the Barbarian or Barry Windsor Smith's work. I mean, obviously, how could you not be inspired by Barry Windsor Smith? I mean, he's an Englishman who went over to America and just dominated for so long, and he had to have been an inspiration to these guys for sure. I love that beautiful structure there, just of that anatomy there. Man, it's so great, and just great legs, and the bones look really solid. It's just, I hate when, well, I don't totally hate it, but there are some times where artists they do anatomy and they kind of forget the bones and everything's kind of bubbly, kind of like a Bern Hogarth kind of way. I love it when you get those angular, like bony landmarks of the body, and they really have like a strong presence. So, yeah, great anatomy, obviously great form, very solid Bridgman-like form. Bridgman kind of looks a little too bony, whereas Bern Hogarth looks a little too bubbly. So when you can find a guy who can kind of get that perfect connection between the two, that's how you know you have a great artist. And man, this stuff is really great. And then you get some kind of crazy stuff like this that kind of makes you think of like a Simon Bisley with these crazy faces. It sort of like feels very grounded, and then it kind of flips and it turns into this insane thing that you're just like, what the fuck am I looking at here? So yeah. Wow, what a weird, bizarre panel. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. But maybe that's the point. Crazy eyeballs. Man. It reminds me of that artist. I forget his name. The dude who did a bunch of like car drawings, and he did like a cover of I think he did a cover for like Nick Cave's band when he was in the birthday party. I forget the dude's name. But it's crazy, insane, like wacky jumping in the air motion. It's like it's so weird because it's like it's kind of laughing at Conan the Barbarian, but also sometimes taking itself very seriously. So very cool stuff. He's fighting a snake. They're doing some Frank Frazetta stuff there, kind of call out to Frank Frazetta. Man, that totally looks like a Buscema panel there. And again, like when somebody could put so many figures on a page and really kind of it's and make them look really great. I mean, I admire that kind of stuff when you're drawing so many figures at such a high level with so much detail. It's insane. I mean, this is insane artwork. And then we get this double page spread here. Man, so cool. So freaking cool. Okay, then we got Mike McMahon here, or Mick McMahon as he goes by now. And you definitely can see where somebody like Mike Mignola would be inspired by this artist here, for sure. And Frank Turan. I think about Frank Turan being very inspired by Mike McMahon or Mick McMahon, whatever he wants to go by these days. But he's doing some really ballsy stuff with ink. A lot of hatching. Pretty much all hatching. There's nothing solid here. He's using the hatching to get him the darks, to get him the shadows. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. I'm not very familiar with his work. I looked at some of his 2000 AD work. I think he did Judge Dredd at one point. Man, beautiful, beautiful stuff. The amount of just kind of cross hatching there, or hatching. Very ballsy stuff. But you get that little bit of white left there in the middle, and I like it. Crazy anatomy. Just like again, you don't need to be perfect at anatomy, but it's all there. It all makes sense. It's beautiful stuff. Really, really beautiful stuff. Crazy hair choices. Man. And then we go back, I believe, to the original artist, who I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. But got a little call to Frank Frazetta there. Looks like a Frank Frazetta Death Dealer character. And again, some crazy stuff going on here. And then you get like these like John Romita faces. Man. I think about John Romita because of the cheeks. He's always got that accentuate, like the cheeks are very strong in women when John Buscema draws or drew. Crazy fashion choices, man. Some Wicker Man shit going on here. Yeah, I am blown away by this. Beautiful horse drawings as well. You know, when you draw this brilliantly, you know, it must be the most amazing feeling in the world. It must really feel great. We got some like John Byrne kind of faces going on there. Man, it must be so Arthur Adams. Kind of reminds you a little bit of an Arthur Adams kind of feel to it. But it must feel so great when you produce this kind of work. It's wow. Great action there as he's kind of turning over, kind of moving his body as he's kind of twisting his body. Again, crazy, crazy stuff going on here. I love the anatomy. I just adore it. When anyone can do great anatomy and figure drawing, it's the kind of stuff that just really makes me fucking go crazy. I don't know why I love it so much, but I do. I enjoy it much more than crazy architecture. But when you see crazy architecture, it blows your mind too. So, you know, man, I'm so happy that this stuff has been reprinted. I mean, come on, look at this. Yeah, again, we're looking at a beautiful environment here, and just amazing, just line work here. Ah, wow, 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 wow. This, I mean, really putting it in at this size is just, you can look at every single line that's going on the page. Every time I go through one of these books, it just makes me want to draw so much. It just makes me want to go, okay, I'm done making the fucking video. Let me go draw. But I'm making a video. I'm halfway through it, if that even. And man, it's a beefy book for sure. Great, again, great action here as this character is kind of getting tackled, jumping over, going. I mean, just beautiful storytelling here. Insanity ensues again. I mean, just otherworldly kind of stuff. And then we go back to Mike McMahon and his amazing style, reminiscence of Mike Mignola for me. Yeah. Man, look at the weight as his body is twisting as he's picking up this large object here, this very heavy, large object. I mean, that's the kind of stuff you marvel at as he's kind of got the weight. And that leg is kind of, it's kind of flexed. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff. Man, I love different art styles too. Like when you can when you get like a little bit of everything, you know, when you get this like absurd cartoony style, and then you go back to this kind of, you know, more John Buscema like stuff. Wow. Love those deltoids there. I love how he's just kind of drawing them as like shoulder pads. Wow. Mind blowing. Absolutely. And great panels, like a lot of stuff going on the page, and great panels. It reads very, very nicely. All right, let's see what we got here. And then, not sure on the artist on this. Oh, oh my, okay. Oh yeah, the fucking should have given away the anatomy there. But it's not as he's using more solid blacks now than he was before. That might have been why it was confusing to me. Great anatomy. I love those arms. Just, yeah. Solid forms. The bone fits in there beautifully. You get those nice bones and great muscles. It's angular where it's supposed to be, and it's solid where it's supposed to be. Great covers too, by the way. You know, if black and white is not your thing, I definitely would not pick up. I would pick up this book regardless, even if black and white wasn't my thing. But man, wow, wow. I don't know what else I can say. It's just, it's so much action, so many people on the page. Just beautiful compositions, storytelling's amazing. And then, of course, we have our page here, which is the cover of the book. I don't know if that was recolored or what. Really creative stuff going on here. A lot of crazy panels here, close-ups, kind of making you feel very claustrophobic. I think that's the point, I'm assuming. But yeah, just really mind-bending stuff. Great expressions as well. You know, I don't know what else there is to say. Just, yeah, absolute total masters. And then we go back to our original artist. And I love how you got like all the nerves and stuff. And yeah, the heart there. It's just like, when you think about comics, you think about like, they're really, the only budget you have is what you can draw, right? And what your supplies are going to be, I guess, as well. And when you get somebody who's just that fucking brilliant at drawing, I mean, the sky's the limit, man. Like, you can do anything. And I admire artists like that. Artists that can just do anything. I envy those people. I really do. It's a gift that so many of us wish we had, because we so badly want to be creative. And when you can do that, when you can tell a story, and your budget, you have no budget anymore because you can draw everything. You can draw anything. It really is a beautiful, it must be a beautiful feeling to just be such a master and have no limitations. And looking at a book like this, there aren't any limitations. There really aren't any limitations. And when I think about 2000 AD, I think about like Judge Dredd. But man, Slaine is fucking super cool and brilliant and so creative and so magnificent. I mean, I can't imagine being Pat Mills handing this over to artists and being like, draw this, and then getting these pages and being like, whoa, man, like, you must be fucking blown away to be able to work with artists like this. And man, I envy people who can draw this well. I can draw pretty well, but this well, I don't think so. I don't think so. We're talking about, somebody. I mean, I don't believe that you are born with talent. I believe that you have to learn it, but I believe that there are people who pick up on it much quicker than others. And this artist is amazing. Just unbelievable. And doing some really, really creative next level shit. I think about John Buscema. Like, I love John Buscema, but then I look at stuff like this and I'm like, man, I don't know if John Buscema. I mean, I'm sure John Buscema could draw this, but could he draw this with that much detail? I don't know. Probably. He probably could. But I imagine the schedules were quite different, but maybe they weren't. I don't know. But wow. Just look at that panel there. Just beautiful stuff. And yeah. Wow. Don't see artwork like that anymore. And it's sad. I hate to sound like an old timer because I'm not. I'm in my 30s, but I can see when there's great artwork and when there isn't. And I feel like we're sort of lacking this stuff now. You'll get an artist, you'll get like 5 artists who can do this kind of work now. And I feel like back then it was like there's a lot of aspiring artists who were really brilliant artists and had no limitations. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. That is Slaine Volume 1. And as soon as Slaine Volume 2 comes out, I'll be picking it up. I'll probably go through it because I'm really excited to see where it goes. And Mick McMahon, whatever, however you want to go by his name, unbelievable artist. And then Massimo Bellardinelli, not sure. And then Angie Kincaid, who I'm sure is probably not related to Thomas Kincaid. That guy sucked and was like a fucking weird cokehead. But anyways, or drunk, alcoholic, I don't know. Amazing fucking art. And Pat Mills, I haven't read it yet because I tend to focus on the art because I'm so busy with work and stuff like that. I don't have really time to read a lot of my comics. I try to, but one of these days I'm going to read this because it looks fucking amazing. It looks like it's like Conan the Barbarian on fucking steroids, and I am all over that. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.